In this video, we are going to study some basic concepts of chemistry. Now, when we say some basic concepts, this is in continuation with some of the concepts what you all have studied in your 8th, 9th and 10th syllabus. Now, students, in this particular chapter, the ending word here is chemistry. And the immediate question what arises, do we need to study chemistry? So, when you get out of your sleep from the bed, the first immediate thing what you do is take a brush which is made up of chemicals. Then you put the toothpaste on it, which is again one of the fluorides what it is made up of, which are chemicals. You take your shower or bath where you are using the compound that is water. Then whatever you wear, whatever food you eat, carbohydrates, proteins, the books on what you write, furniture or what you use in your house, the kitchen articles, the crockery, the gas which is enclosed in the cylinder, that is the liquefied petroleum gas, what the food is cooked in the utensils. So everything we all are surrounded by chemistry. The fertilizers, the rocket fuel, the environment what it consists of, the various types of gases, their composition. So it is very, very important to study chemistry. The second very important thing about chemistry is that it is interlinked to physics and maths and the other fields, that is bio. And therefore, it becomes necessary to study chemistry. Now the question is, what is chemistry? So let us see the definition of chemistry first. Before writing the definition, when you study chemistry, there are various analytical processes what you need to carry out. So what is chemistry? It is the study of matter. The first immediate thing is, it is the study of matter. Now, what is matter? Anything that has mass and occupies space is matter. The question is, are you a matter? So, the immediate answer is yes, because even you occupy some space and you have mass, and therefore, even you or me is a part of matter. We all are made up of matter. So, chemistry is the study of matter, the physical and chemical properties. Physical and chemical properties Now, what is the meaning of physical and chemical? That we will come later in the chapter. Physical and chemical properties and the physical and chemical changes that the matter undergoes. So this we study under chemistry. Now students, chemistry is a central science which is related to many other sciences. Like I said, the food, the cold drink, what we wear, everything they are interrelated to chemistry. Even the cosmetics what we use, they all are chemicals. So this is why, or the reason behind this, why we need to study chemistry. Now when we talk about chemistry, there are various branches of chemistry. The main branches of chemistry, so let us see what are the branches of chemistry. The first branch what we have, it is not first and last. I am giving all the branches one by one. The branch what deals with the physical properties, that is physical chemistry. The first branch is physical chemistry. What we study in physical chemistry is the various analytical techniques, the energy with which the electron is associated with, various concepts given by the scientist. We call them as postulates. Their limitations to some of the atoms or the elements, how an atom combines with the other atom to give a certain compound or a molecule, how much energy during the reaction is released or absorbed for the progression of the reaction, how much energy is required to break some certain amount of bonds, what is the energy changes during some particular reactions when they take place. So this everything we study under physical chemistry. The second what we have is organic chemistry. Organic chemistry deals with only and only carbon and its compounds. Chemistry of carbon and its compounds, it is studied under organic chemistry. Now the question is, why carbon has such a wide range or branch of our chemistry which is separately classified as organic chemistry is only because of the ability of carbon to form various bonds with itself. What we call it as catenating power of carbon, and therefore it is classified or it is studied separately as one of the branch, that is organic chemistry. Third is inorganic chemistry. In inorganic chemistry, you study all the elements, the chemistry of all the elements other than carbon. Because carbon we study in organic chemistry, so remaining all elements we study in inorganic chemistry. The complete classification of elements, their reaction with certain other elements, their extraction, that is metallurgical operations, various digging out processes, that is the metallurgical operations including ores, then you have minerals, they all are studied in inorganic chemistry. Next is the link between chemistry and bio, that is biochemistry is the next branch where we apply some of the chemistry products onto the living organism, that is pharmaceutical companies, the drugs, various types of medicines, the tranquilizers and painkillers, what we call them, they all are studied in biochemistry. Various types of fertilizers which are applied onto the plants, they all are studied in biochemistry. Next branch is analytical chemistry. Analytical chemistry is also very important in analyzing certain compounds by using different analytical techniques like qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis. What is the difference between the two? To know what type of elements or ions are present in a given substance, we call it as qualitative analysis, and in how much amount it is present, we carry out quantitative analysis. So qualitative, quantitative or gravimetric analysis, those all analytical titrations, various titrations what we carry out for acid-base neutralization. So those all analytical processes, they are studied in analytical chemistry. And next what we have is nuclear chemistry. When we talk about chemistry, you have studied that they are only restricted to the electrons of the outer shell. But the chemistry also deals with the study of the nucleus, which is placed at the center of the atom. What is there in the nucleus? What is the number of neutrons, protons, and why some of the particular atoms, they are radioactive in nature, why they emit the various particles or the radiations like alpha, beta, gamma. After the emission of those radioactive particles, what happens to the daughter nuclei which is formed? This everything is studied under nuclear chemistry. So in all, we have many other. Space chemistry is also there where we study the rocket fuel or the rocket chemistry. But in short, we have physical chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, biochemistry, analytical and nuclear. Easy to remember, we have a word, this is for physical. Then I have a word, this letter for inorganic, then analytical, nuclear, organic. This gives you a term what will help you to remember the type of branches of chemistry. And let me end this with something that is B. Now what are the main branches of chemistry? Is physical, inorganic, analytical, nuclear, organic and biochemistry. Very broad physical chemistry what we study here is the different types of reactions, study of atoms, molecules, fundamental concepts related to electrons, energy. So this is all about the branches of chemistry. Now once you know what are the branches of chemistry, how this matter is classified. So let us see how matter is classified. Now students, you know what is matter. Matter is any substance that has mass and occupies space. We call it matter. Now how this matter is classified? Matter is classified broadly in two groups. The first is the pure substance, and the next is mixtures. Mixtures are again classified in two types, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous. Pure substances are again classified in two types, elements and compounds. Elements are again classified in three types, metals, non-metals, and something which is having the properties in between metals and non-metals, that is metalloids. Now students, when I am talking about the pure substance, I am talking about the elements and the compounds without any impurities. Means the chemical composition is fixed. Then I will call them as pure substances. Mixtures, when I talk, then it is a combination of two or more than two substances, composition of which can be varied to a certain or to any limit. Like you have bhed, this type of substances, or even air is a mixture. If I say air is a mixture, the composition can be varied because you all know that carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, which are the products of ignition, that is burning fuel, this composition is nowadays getting extended to any limit, and therefore they are the best examples of mixtures. This is classified in two types, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous means having a uniform phase throughout, means I cannot separate them easily because I see that it forms a single or a same phase. If it is not forming a same phase or a single phase, then I will call it as a heterogeneous mixtures. How we define the elements and metals, non-metals with proper examples, we'll be seeing that in part 2 of this lecture. Thank you students.